Hello, my fellow movie fans, and welcome to another show of Feast of Films Theatre. Today starring Matthew Black and Ethan R. Hill. There, that's the intro.
Oh, yeah. Classic. Classic. What's going on, my fellow movie fans? Welcome back. We are back from break. We are back from the Christmas holidays. It is a new year. It is 2021, and this is episode, I was going to say 21, but it's actually 22, so that doesn't work out as well as I thought it was going to. We are back. This is a feast of films. I'm Matthew Ayalew, and with me, as always, is
Ethan R. Hill.
What's going on, buddy? Good to be back.
So I have a better suggestion to make your 2021 thing work.
Okay, what's that?
This is season 2, episode 1 of the year 2021.
Oh, perfect. There we go. I knew there was a link in there somewhere when I was thinking about it. And then I was saying it, and I was like, I was really confident this was episode 21. Then I was like, nope, this is episode 22. Son of a... Anyway.
But welcome to season 2, everybody.
Welcome to season 2. And brand new year, and obviously the year started off like, just batshit crazy, just kind of 2020, just keep on going.
Something was on fire, I guess.
But I'm kind of hoping this is my prediction for the year 2021. 2020 started fairly normal, and in a very positive light, I would say, and then kind of devolved as the year went on. I'm thinking this is gonna start as a mess, and then it's gonna get better as we go. So. Light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, we have vaccines now for coronavirus. Don't want to get into too much politics, but U.S. maybe will settle down in the next little bit. Hopefully, we'll see.
They're not doing great
or
so
they're
far.
Gonna blow themselves up. That's the other option. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. I'm hopeful.
Just remember, duck and cover. That's all we can really hope for here.
Well, in Canada, we'll just build some igloos and just live in those. We'll be fine.
We'll build a giant ice wall and basically Game of Thrones.
And no one will have to pay for it because it'll just build itself. So
exactly,
it's the nice part about living in Canada.
Nature's way of being like, okay, guys, we're just gonna keep the states over there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, starting 2020, a couple different changes. Real quick, obviously I'm going by like Matthew Ayalew now. Matt Black, I threw it out. Get that guy out of there. He did, man. It's like. How's it going, new Doug? From like the Ragnarok. Except I'm like, new Matt. What's going on? Except I'm the same Matt.
It's that Taylor Swift song or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, so where's the old Matt? He can't come to the phone now. He's dead.
I'll be back.
You're basically Taylor Swift.
Yeah, more or less. Just to my actual name. And I'm basically doing that too, just because, shameless plug. I'm gonna throw this in there because I've been talking about this for the last couple episodes or the last couple months leading up to it. But I actually launched my YouTube channel, Storytellers for Life. So you can go check that out. And that's the name I use on there. So I just figured I might as well just keep it consistent across the platform. Because I also use that little animated head that we got. So I always keep it there. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Storytellers4L, Facebook at Storytellers for Life, Twitch, Storytellers for Life, live. All the links are down below as well. And we're just talking about storytelling, man, and digging into it. It's going to be great.
Also, I just got to add, shameless plug is the name of your sex tape.
Oh, boy. No one would want to watch that. I wouldn't want to watch that. It'd be terrible.
As everyone can hopefully tell, 2021, nothing has changed for me. I'm the exact same place and person I was before.
And I've completely reinvented myself over the last month.
That has a new channel, all this really crazy stuff, and I survived the holidays.
And
I survived retail in the holidays.
That's important. That's an important part.
Just trying to work on my own stuff still, and got nothing new. But hey, I'm enjoying myself. I'm just having fun.
Absolutely, and that's how you got to do it. It's how you got to do it.
I mean, they can find me in the same places: the YouTube, Ethan R. Hill, Instagram, Ethan R. Hill. You can find my movie Damned Rights at realhouse.org. And yeah, I figure we'll get all the plugs out of the way now.
Yeah, we might as well just throw them out there.
Follow-up sex tape to the first one.
We'll throw them out at the beginning and the end. Shameless plugs everywhere. Just sex tapes for everybody. You know what?
Exactly.
This is exactly why our channel keeps getting sent to all those people.
They
And
don't know.
no, they don't. You know exactly what I'm
Matt,
talking about.
Matt, we have
You know
we have
exactly
a fan
what
base.
I'm
We need
talking
to
about.
pander to them now.
That's exactly. You know what? You know what they say, man. Just like steer into the drift or the ice. Or
Exactly.
whatever.
You just see it.
Just
You see it.
steer
And it's
into
like,
the
hey,
rut. Just steer into it. I can't remember what
like
the saying is.
maybe if we reference the weird videos, the people watching them will stop, and that'll help.
Hey, they're talking about us.
I'm embarrassed now.
Ah,
I gotta
man.
stop watching, or they gotta watch the whole thing so that we don't know it's them leaving.
Funny times, man. Oh, this is hilarious. Well, everyone, welcome to 2021. Whether you're one of those people or not, but you know if you are one of those people, you know. But also,
You know
you've
the stuff
probably
you've been
already
watching.
stopped watching by now, so it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Thank you for your 2 minutes.
we got a really fun episode because we stopped early in December. The episodes played a little bit further, but the last time we recorded was pretty early. Actually, it might have been end of November that we recorded the last one. I can't exactly remember. But
It's been a while, Matt.
yeah, it's been a while since we've done a recording, so we've definitely missed some stuff that we want to talk about. The final episodes of The Mandalorian. Going to be talking about a bunch of the announcements that were made for Disney Plus, which is so exciting because for like 2 years that thing had like nothing new other than The Mandalorian coming. Now we got this whole list of stuff that we want to talk about, and I think Ethan and I spent a fair amount of time watching some really great movies this holiday season, so we want to talk about those and share those experiences with you guys, and then also of course questions of the day. So it's going to be a full loaded 2 episodes, and let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. So the Mandalorian, man, the freaking Mandalorian. Okay, so also here's a quick thing. We are going to talk about spoilers for the last couple episodes. If you do not want to listen to spoilers, if you have not watched the last couple episodes of The Mandalorian, and you really want to, but you haven't done it yet, and you don't want it spoiled, I'll just put like a little time drop so you can go down in the description. Right? Yeah, skip ahead. So it'll be on the other side of that. And I'll mark it down. So if you want to go check it out, do that right now because we're starting spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you gone?
That's where you...
Are you gone? You better be. Okay, let's go. We're free.
This is where you could be really, really mean. And like at the biggest spoiler we're gonna talk about, that's where you drop the timestamp. So they click on it and just go like
right there,
just
like,
immediately
psych!
go like and Luke Skywalker,
Psych!
like just that's
okay. But really, freaking Luke Skywalker.
I didn't see it coming.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I didn't see that coming. But as soon as the X-wing, like literally how it played out for me, was X-wing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's his. And I'm like, no, it's a tease. That's a tease. They're going to try and make him, they're going to subvert it.
Yeah.
And then green lightsaber. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, no, you only see the cloak. And then I saw the glove on his hand, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
And then you could see like the belt when he was fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was literally like, it was me talking myself out of them doing it.
Yeah.
Until I finally like realized. And then there was the debate of like, were they just going to CG Mark Hamill's face on it? Or was it going to be like a different actor playing him? And honestly, I'm content either way. I'm happy with how it went. I think season 2 was probably stronger than season 1 overall.
For sure. Let's keep talking about Luke Skywalker though, because I think you just like hit on like a really like impactful point that, and I think like that just shows like the brilliance of like Peyton Reed when it comes to directing this, because this whole episode was directed like beautifully, and like the tension that they created and put into this episode, especially from like the different shots. But with Luke Skywalker, that's exactly what they want you to do, right? Like you see the X-wing, and at first you're like, it's Luke. And then you're like, no, it can't be. There's no way Luke's showing up on like the Disney Plus show. Like, not a chance. Like my money was on like Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels, right? Like that to me, like with Ahsoka coming back, them looking for Thrawn, I was like, okay, it'd make sense for like Ezra to maybe show up in that kind of, scenario. So that's who I was thinking was gonna show up.
See, I thought maybe Ahsoka got her hands on an X-wing and was like changed her mind, is like, I'll
Oh, and
take the
like came
kid.
back.
Like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I was thinking Ezra Bridger, and that's kind of where like this whole is it Luke, is it not, was like playing with my head, because I was the same as you. You see the X-wing, you're like, oh, it's Luke. Then you're like, oh no, but it's an X-wing. You know, a bunch of people could have X-wings. Okay, let's just chill. Then you see like the black cloak coming with the hood up, and you're like, oh, they got the hood up. Is it Luke? Do they want us to think it's Luke or not? And then you see like the green lightsaber turn on, and I was like, oh my god, it's Luke. Then I was like, wait, Ezra Bridger also has a green lightsaber that looks very similar to Luke. So now I'm still like, is it actually freaking Luke? And then you see the glove, and he starts like ripping people apart. You see the belt kind of underneath the cloak, and you're like, this is Luke Skywalker. But in your brain, it's like, they still haven't shown me it's Luke Skywalker, so it possibly could not be. Like, there's a slight possibility that it's not. And they literally, just with the shots they chose to add into this episode, and the whole keeping his face to like the very last moment kept you in suspense, even though you knew
yeah.
every piece of evidence pointed to Luke Skywalker, that there was always just that slight chance that it wasn't. They were duping you. But of course, it was Luke Skywalker. And when he rolled in there, like after crushing all those machines and the droids, and like you got like the smoke when the door opens, and it's just the glow of that green lightsaber, is like, shit, man, this is dope. And that's what I've always wanted from the sequel trilogies. I always say, like, I don't really care for the sequel trilogy like as a trilogy. The individual movies I have different feelings on.
Yeah.
Um and I do overall like The Last Jedi, but one of the things I was super disappointed about in the theater, because all I wanted to see going in there was Luke's green lightsaber and Luke wrecking shop. Like, I just wanted to see Luke wrecking shop. Just like wiping out like a whole squadron of troopers with that green lightsaber, right? And we never got that. But we got it in The Mandalorian, so I was just super excited. The CGI
Well, I
was a
love.
little wonky, but like,
Yeah,
that
it
can be
always will
fixed.
be
That can be,
though.
but they could go back and fix it too, right? Like, really, it's not really a big problem at the end of the day. But no, it was
I like
so
how
impactful.
I really like how they stacked up the, like, it's gonna sound weird, but they stacked up the difficulty level to make you understand how powerful Luke was.
Yeah,
Because you saw Mando struggle against one of the Dark Troopers,
yeah,
like, and then you just have Luke roll in and just wipe the floor with them and just like absolutely destroy them. Like, that was such a good way to set that up, a good way to build the tension as well. Because even then, like while you know it's Luke, you're still sitting there going like, okay, well, what's gonna happen next, and what is this person gonna do?
well, yeah, and the Dark Troopers were so like such an integral part of setting up that tension, and like really like the best parts of that episode. Because yeah, they already set the stage earlier when Mando was fighting like one Dark Trooper. Like, this is going to be like effort. And then you see them all getting blown out the airlock. He kills that one, and I was like, well, that was kind of lame. Like, they've been like hinting at these Dark Troopers. Now this got blown out the airlock. Okay, that sucks, but whatever. Let's see how the rest of the episode plays out. And then, like, he obviously fights Moff Gideon with a dark saber and the Beskar spear. Has the fight,
Which that was a great
wins.
fight
That
scene.
was so good, right? So good. And then they get to the bridge, and I was like, okay, the episode's gonna wrap up kind of right away. Maybe we'll see the Jedi cliffhanger kind of thing, or
Yeah,
like you don't actually see who it is, kind of like a la Force Awakens. Or are they, or maybe that's just gonna be part of the next season, like the adventure continues kind of thing, right? And then when they're like, we're being boarded, and they're like, life forms, like, not life forms. I'm like, oh my god, that's right, they're not people, they're droids, they don't die in the vacuum of space. And I just got like so hyped, because I totally, like, you just forget about it, right? You think things get blown out the airlock, and you're like, oh, they're dead, okay, whatever. You forget they have rocket boots, you forget they're not gonna die in the vacuum of space, and they're back, and they're everywhere on the ship. The whole Legion is out there, and there's just those, like, the four of them. Four of them? Yeah, there's only four of them. It hung like in the hangar that would actually fight. Like, Baby Yoda could do little force stuff, but like he was pretty tired, man. He was tired little guy. But you're just like, as they're punching against the door, you're like, there is no way. Like, these guys are just so apt,
this is the end.
so
Like, this is
apt.
it.
Like what is going to happen? And then of course, yeah, then Luke shows up. So it was just how they constructed this episode and laid all the groundwork out for such intense tension. I just absolutely loved it and just ate it up. Ate it up. I'm sure it's like everyone else did online, right? Like that was the biggest thing. Like everyone just ate it up. And
How
not
much
just
did
because it
you
was Star Wars, not just because it was Luke, but like this narrative and the story and all the beat, everything was so well crafted that like Payne Reed had us all emotionally in the palm of his hand. Like we were his.
Oh
We
yeah.
were dough, man. We were emotional dough. It was amazing. That final episode was just amazing.
How much did you cry at the end?
Oh man, I was getting emotional. I was
Oh,
getting emotional. Like
that goodbye was perfect.
it
That
was so yeah, man. He doesn't want to go with you. He's looking for your permission, or he wants your permission, right? And like even takes off the helmet to have like a face to face. I was like, Grogu, baby Yoda. And I think the other thing too is like we're so connected to Baby Yoda as an audience to see him leaving and knowing the show is called The Mandalorian. So which character are we following? General the Mandalorian, right? So
yeah.
it's kind of like we felt that separation, that pain of separation at the same time as Mando, right? Because it was kind of like he's leaving, and we know he won't leave this series forever, but he's leaving right now.
I was gonna say, do you
Whether
think
he's
he's gonna
back,
be gone for good?
no, no. Like, and I think they made that clear, just saying like when he says like I'm confident we'll see each other again or something. Whether Grogu plays into season 3 or I think they said I think there's 2 more seasons for sure confirmed. For sure season 3, but if he doesn't play into season 3, he'll for sure be back in season 4. Um, but I think he's still going to play a part in the journey to come. But it's not obviously going to be the same part. Like obviously he'll be probably considerably more capable by the time he's done training with Luke or has trained with Luke for a little while. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do with it. But I think they made the right call because the whole narrative of bringing Grogu to the Jedi, like I don't think you could have stretched that out into 2 seasons. You know, I think like just the one
It would have
season
just
was
been more of the
perfect.
same.
It was perfect. Yeah, I think it would
Yeah.
have been like too much of the same. Oh no, we gotta get Grogu to the Jedi. But the Empire for like 2 seasons
Oh,
back
I'm
to
off
back.
Gideon again.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it just would have been too long. So I think they made the right call. And I do feel confident we'll see him again. I do feel
Oh yeah.
confident we'll see him again.
I'm confident we're gonna see most of the characters we've been introduced again.
Yeah.
Like even Bill Burr, I'd be shocked
Oh,
if he
for
didn't come back. Like
sure. If we don't see him in
and
Mando, we're gonna see him in the new series,
the
the
Boba
Rangers
Fett.
of the Republic. I was thinking Rangers of the Republic.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he was way more set up for Rangers of the New Republic.
I'm cool with either man. I thought he was great and like
He,
his whole
dude, he
like
was so
that because that was the
fantastic.
episode before, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was the episode just before. Yeah,
That whole episode was also amazing, and his character arc in that was phenomenal.
so good.
That scene between it's him, Joe Chill from Batman
Yeah, yeah,
Begins,
yeah.
and Mando just like pretending to be stormtroopers, and like just that when you finally understand who like there's layers upon layers of these characters, and you finally understand who Bill Burr is
Yeah.
and what he went through, and that he's not some imperial loyalist. He's just a guy who was doing a job.
And he got
And
screwed over. Like really, he lost all
and
his
just like
people.
man, I was waiting for that gun to go off. I was waiting for it, and when it happened, it was so satisfying.
And that's like the perfect example of that like bomb under the table technique, right? Where you're waiting for it to go off. Like it's the tension of the moment, right? Oh, and
I'm like,
I could have sat there and watched them just have a conversation for like another like 5 minutes. Like it was so good.
well, it's weird because it was like that bomb under the table thing, but it was the bomb under the table, but they're slowly revealing to you that there is a bomb under the
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Like you don't know, they didn't set it up beforehand. You're at the table and they're just panning, they're just going slightly down to be like, and by the way, that's a bomb. It's gonna go off any minute
Like
now.
it's gonna go like you could just feel the tension. And like and another really great aspect of that episode, like that conversation for me, honestly, as cool as that whole episode was, that conversation was the highlight, right? Like that scene,
Oh,
that
100%.
moment was 100% the highlight. And you get to see the layers of the empire too, right? And you see that not everyone's like crazy like this, you know, commander or general. I can't remember who, like what his ranking was. who they were talking to, right? Or as like convicted in the cause. Some of them are just like normal guys trying to live, and they're just wrapped up in this whole thing. Like they don't. Some of them don't really have probably much of a choice. But then you also got to see the other side of the Empire earlier on in the episode when they kind of play more of like a heroic role, right? When they're saving the Mandalorian, they're saving their shipment. Like how often
Yeah.
did TIE fighters roll in shooting and you're like,
And you were excited to see it.
You
Yeah,
were
no,
happy to
we were
see
the same
them.
way here. We were
and the storm, like they just had
man.
this moment of like heroism. And the storm, I'm like, just can't breathe. I like inhaled really weird there. And then like the stormtroopers like roll in down the bridge and they're shooting and stuff like that. And when they roll into the depot, everyone's clapping and cheering, like just like a new hope when Luke's getting out of the
Like,
X-wing, right? Like it's
it
exactly that kind of same scenario. So it
it
was
almost gave me
really
more flashbacks.
interesting to see the Empire in that light as well.
It almost gave me more flashbacks to like how Clone Wars were treated, like how the clones were.
Yeah.
Because it's again because we have a bit of conditioning with that whenever we see the clones fight.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like straight up stormtroopers, and again, you hit the nail on the head, the TIE fighters, the fact that we heard that noise and it wasn't a sense of like, oh my
shit.
goodness,
Yeah.
it was a sense of like, okay, they're gonna be okay now.
Yeah.
Like, and that was also just watching Mando fight without his stuff and seeing that he can still fight without all his gadgets was phenomenal.
Well, like, and then he takes those first couple hits, and it's like, oh yeah, you're not wearing your best scar
I
right
don't
now,
have
right?
my
Like, it's
best
just
scar on.
shattering.
Oh, no.
And like how tuckered he is like just before the TIE fighters show up, and you got like those 4 other like dudes like rolling up, or 5 or whatever, and he's just like, he just puts up his fist like he's just ready to go. Like, what a badass, man! Like, what a badass. I think one of the things in like season 1 too, especially early on in season 1, you see the Mandalorian get his like ass handed to him like so many different times, like in that like beginning of the first season. And one of the things I really like in season 2 is like, not only like he still like has to struggle and like work and put in the effort, but like he just has so many more moments where he gets to be that like expert fighter, that Mandalorian that he is. So it was really
No,
it was
exactly.
it was exceptional. Both those episodes were exceptional in their storytelling, in their craft, in their action sequences, in their quiet moments, the use of tension. Like it was just the perfect 2-episode
were
capper
both-
to that season.
It was really good, strong ending to the series, like to that season.
That story.
But honestly, man, I can't think, like the only episode people have complained about was like the one with the frog, like the second episode of the series.
Dude, I didn't even mind
But
that one. Like it was,
I
like,
loved it. I
was
thought it was
really
hilarious,
good.
and the
Like,
spiders were terrifying.
yes,
Like that night, I actually had a
yes.
dream about spiders like attacking me. Like it was messed up.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I'm totally with you on that one. Like, it was very funny watching Yoda eating the eggs. Like, especially when you're told, like, this is
Hilarious.
like a rare species and they're just the last of their kind, or blah, blah, blah. And Yoda's just like eating them, and you're like, oh my God, stop eating the eggs, man.
What are you doing?
And of course, his little appetite gets him in trouble with those spiders. So, like, yeah, even, and if that was the weakest episode, if people would say that was
Then
the
it's
weakest
great.
episode of the season, then, like, this whole season has been, like, knockout after knockout after knockout. Like, for me, the first season had a couple weak episodes. Like I mentioned before, 5 and 6. And they're not as bad when you watch them, like, back to back through,
honestly,
right? But when you were watching them week and then have to wait the week, it was like those couple episodes, and one of them was the Bill Burr episode. And I quite like his character a lot more in this season, for sure.
But even the setup that both those episodes set up major plot points in
this
season
season. Yeah, like later on. Yeah.
And like that setup was perfect for this payoff.
Yeah.
Like having her come back and be with Boba Fett was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
that was so good. And we're getting the book of Boba Fett.
That was announced at the end, right? A whole nother series. So I can't remember if we even talked about. We obviously probably didn't even get the chance to talk about episode 6 either. I can't remember because we probably recorded like the day before episode 6 dropped. But like
I'm
episode
trying to remember.
Episode 6 was fire too, right? Like Boba Fett showing up, like gets his armor back. I was like, oh goddamn. He's
was
like,
that episode 6 or was that episode 5?
no, I'm pretty sure it's episode 6. Yeah, no,
I
that was
thought he
episode
was-
6. Yeah. That was 6 because his Razor Crest blew up, and then he was like hanging out with Boba Fett after that. And then they went to go get Cara Dune so they could get Bill Burr, and then they went to go rescue Baby Yoda. So yeah, episode 6.
Yep, you're right, 100%.
That was
'Cause,
that was such a good episode too, right? Mandalorian's kind of like the John Wick of like the Star Wars universe. And or did I say Mandalorian? Boba Fett. I don't know what I said there. But he's kind of like he just crushed people. He just crushed people. And it's finally great to see the action to
Well, dude,
what the legend is, because like and you know this too, like in storytelling it's like show don't tell, and I feel like with
yeah,
Boba Fett all we've ever been is told, oh, he's super badass or he's super deadly, he's the most dangerous bounty hunter, but we never really saw that. A lot of the times he was just standing around like chilling, or he accidentally got knocked into a sarlacc pit, right? You're just kind of like, well, that was anticlimactic. In this episode, though, you get to see Boba Fett as like this most badass bounty hunter in the galaxy, wrecking stormtroopers. He didn't even need his armor. Like when he starts wrecking them, he doesn't have his armor, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
and then
I
he
would
gets
not
his
want
armor,
to
and
find
he's
that
just
guy.
like,
And once he gets his armor, it's like, holy like just wrecks shop. And to see the
But, like,
slave one again, how good was that? That was excellent.
honestly, man, they brought in the best person to deal with that.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Robert Rodriguez was like a perfect
that
choice,
episode, yeah.
And honestly, like you can tell, like the dude knows his action. The
Yeah.
dude knows exactly what he's doing, and it was fantastic. Like it was so
And
so good.
It wasn't like the
I've
longest
seen-
episode, but it was tight. Like it was tight. It was really
I don't know
good.
if you saw it, but did you see like the behind the scenes stuff where like Robert Rodriguez
Where he's using
filmed
like the
his sons?
stormtrooper, like the
Yeah,
toys and stuff.
Like he used his sons to film the
To, like,
previs
do, like, a- yeah.
for
for
and
like the
that's
episode.
amazing. And that's again like they picked the right people. This show is great for picking the right people for
Yeah.
the show.
100%.
All the people, like Bryce Dallas Howard directs really great episodes.
Yeah, she did excellent too.
Crap. What was the one? Oh, Dave Filoni did the Ahsoka episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, he did.
And like
He
me and Prosser
He
were-
did considerably better in this season than he did last season. So already you can see him improving as a live action director. So that was an
Well,
important
because
point.
me and Prosser were going on and on about how basically it was so we thought it was going to be a Japanese director
Yeah.
because there were so many samurai-esque moments and just the way that it was shot
It
was,
was
very
very
Japanese
samurai.
cinema.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And we were like, okay, who's this going to
Kurosawa?
be?
Is it Kurosawa? I can't remember.
Kurosawa? Yeah.
Yeah.
I butchered that name because I suddenly slurred there. I don't know why, but like, I'm not drinking tonight.
I'm actually not drinking tonight though. Good
Drinking
times.
water. Then there was one other one. I'm trying to remember who it was and which episode it was.
There's like David Fiamu. I cannot say his last name. I want to say it's like Fiamua or something.
Carl Weathers directed an
I,
episode.
I very much apologize. Yes, Carl Weathers directed the episode that he was in with Cara Dune there, back to like kind of the original trio.
Rick
Yeah,
Famuyiwa,
yeah,
or
Rick, not
Yue.
David. Rick.
Yeah, he did the second last
Famuyiwa
one.
or
And that
whatever.
was
Yeah.
no, and that was another one.
And
we
he
were just
directed.
like,
He was
who
the only,
direct-
him and Bryce Dallas Howard, obviously, and then I guess Dave Filoni too. Like they were the three that carried on into this season from last season as well. Because Rick also did the other episode with Bill Burr. Bill Burr,
It was really, really fun.
Sir Burr.
It was really, really fun for us this season to try and guess who directed the episodes,
Mm-hmm.
or like try and be like, hey, who did this? And like half the time we wanted to Google it halfway through the episode. We're like, no, just wait
Just
it out. We
try
wanna
and
see.
figure
And
it
that's-
out. Yeah. See if you can guess.
And again, that's why we were surprised with Filoni, because like the photo language he chose to use was so unique from an American perspective. And that's, again, we thought it was going to be someone from Japan
Yeah.
because it was just so out there for Star Wars, but it worked still. And that's the thing that I love about this show, is it's pushing the boundaries while still being Star Wars.
Well, true, and obviously like samurai and Japanese filmmaking, those things were really a big part of like the inspiration of Star Wars and the Jedi in general.
100%.
Obviously, right? And you can see that immediately from like the cloaks and stuff that they wear. If you look at like old samurai like stuff, it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of similarities there.
I want to say
But
that Darth Vader's design was originally like based off of Shogun.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
design.
Like the whole helmet thing. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's what's great about this show, because what makes it honestly feel so much s- like Star Wars, but yet being so different from anything came before, is that it's not trying to be like, oh, I'm not trying to be the original trilogy or specifically capture the feel of the original trilogy, but they're taking these things that inspired the original trilogy. Where did George Lucas go to get his ideas and inspiration? And they go to like kind of those similar places and they bring it all together. Or they're inspired by some of the artwork from Ralph McQuarrie, like those spiders. That was from concept art that he did for Dagobah. Like that's where those spiders came from, right? So they like pull
Yeah.
these different aspects, not necessarily from the final product of Star Wars, but from that which kind of inspired and came out of like the creation of Star Wars. So you kind of still get that same effect, but it's so unique and it's so its own. But yeah, the heart of Star Wars is still there, even though it's so different from anything that came before. So no, man, this season was fantastic, and those last couple episodes were just money. Like honestly, see episode 1 to was it 1 to 4, like they were pretty good. Like there was nothing wrong with them. I thought they were still really really strong episodes, but once you got to episode 5, 6, 7,
5.
and 8, it was just
It
money
was a
all
lot
the way
of
through, just money.
it was a lot of really good build up. It was a lot of really good setup for what would come later.
Yeah,
Because again, without episode 1, we wouldn't have got the armor back,
yeah,
right? Like
and that hint of Boba Fett.
everything helped pay off and move forward the story too.
Yeah.
There weren't really many one-offs,
And like really,
and I
like
think that's what
Tu-
was
Tamara Morrison, who played Boba Fett. Like he was the actor who played Jango Fett in like the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, right? Um, like to bring him back to play Boba Fett, which obviously makes sense because he's still a clone, so of course he would look exactly like his dad. Was just awesome. Like he played it so well. It was so great. And even like the in the season or episode 7 and 8, like Boba Fett didn't have as big of a presence in the last 2 episodes, obviously because he's now just kind of set up and he's moving into his own series. But he just looks way more badass right now. I don't know, man. Like they gave him that paint job and he just looks so clean and
Yep.
crisp. I was like, oh shit. Boba Fett means business. I'm really excited.
Also that
I'm really excited for that new series. That'll be out in
that line about
December.
them recognizing his face absolutely killed
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I think
It's like
some
I
of
have a
them might
recognizable
recognize
face.
Yeah, I think they might recognize me. You're like, right? Of course they would. Of course they would.
How did you feel about Mando getting his face scanned before? Like, did you have any kind of reaction to that with episode 7 when he
Well,
has to scan
I
his
thought
face?
I thought it was again a really great character moment, and like you could have saved the face reveal for when he's saying goodbye to Yoda, but or Baby Yoda or Grogu, but I think just having it in that episode before when the stakes are so high, it put him in a position where it's like it's either your creed or the child. So it just really showed how much he cared, because that whole first season was all about I don't take my helmet off. I don't take my helmet off. I don't show my face. No one, like, I don't show my face, right? To anyone living, minus the droid who had to heal him.
Well, the droid wasn't living, so that's why
Exactly.
it
So
didn't count.
technicality, baby, technicality. But yeah, so then to make that choice in front of Imperials to take off his helmet, to show his face, to really push away his creed, so that like that's how much Grogu meant to him. And I thought that was a really great character moment, and it needed to happen.
Well, that's
It needed to happen like before the final one for sure.
no, and I agree, and that's where I think it was really good how they built that up. I really appreciate how they didn't just like, oh, and then it just happened. Like they actually worked. We earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and they earned the permission of the fans to do it by that point,
Yeah.
because we knew that was going to happen. We knew that by the that at some point they made such a big deal about it, especially in that episode.
Yeah.
About him not taking off his face, like Bill Burr asking him like every 5 minutes, like, why don't you take off the mask? Why don't you take off the helmet? Like, we earned that moment.
Yeah,
there.
for sure. 100%. And I think this whole season, and honestly, when you look at the 2 seasons combined, because even the episodes that didn't really seem to matter too much in the first season kind of paid off also in this season as well. So yeah, no, this has just been by Dave Filoni, by obviously Jon Favreau. Has been this whole story arc. This whole story has been so plotted out so meticulously and organized and planned out and created and just just they did the work. They did the work before they did the shooting, right? Like you can tell they did all the behind the scenes work that they had to do to make sure this was a story that was going to be impactful, that it was going to matter, that we were going to feel the consequences, that we were going to not feel cheapened by the experience. You know what I mean? Like nothing was just given; everything was earned. And no, it was just the Mandalorian season 2, especially those last couple episodes, were just excellent, excellent. I don't even think like I would never even imagine even the episode of Luke Skywalker showing up. I would never have imagined it. Never. Like
Again, I would have thought, hey, it would have been cool, but like I would never thought that they would actually be able to
do
go
it.
through with it.
Yeah. So like, and that's kind of like one of the situations where like the genie's out of the bottle, man. Like now it's like, well, you can use anybody, anyone can show up anywhere, kind of thing, right? If Luke's showing up, well,
they've earned it, and I know there's been some people who've talked about wanting them to have like a young, like a young
Luke series, not
Luke,
young, but
Leia,
like kind of
between
more
6
of
and
a
7.
natural sequel to the episode 6. Yeah.
Kind of set up to the pre or
To
set up to
see
the
kind of what
sequels
happened
too,
in
right?
between, yeah. Because obviously he trained students, like obviously.
Well, that's the other thing. People are like, does this mean Grogu is? I keep saying Gogru, and it's Grogu.
Grogu, yeah.
Is this mean that like? Is he dead? Is he dead now in this this world? Like, is that what's happening now? Is he died when Kylo attacked?
But I think that's something we're gonna also be able to find out. I would suspect he goes back to the Mandalorian kind of thing, but we'll see. Like honestly, I feel like any of Yoda's species, like they're pretty powerful. Like they're pretty powerful species just naturally. So I don't even know if I feel like Kylo Ren probably just would have got whooped. That's how I feel if he had to fight Grogu, but you never know. You never know.
No, exactly. I at this point I'm very optimistic for the future. Like, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what is going to happen.
Well, and talking about the future, that is a great segue into our next one, and which we'll spend a little less time on. But like obviously we had to talk about the Mandalorian. It was so good. The next couple series that are coming out for Disney Plus, and this is a plus for us because really Disney Plus has been just the Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 as far as like really good like exclusive series content, right? Like they throw out like a couple movies here and there, but like nothing.
I've just been watching more classic stuff from them, you know.
And that's kind of what they've been great for, their library. Like if they didn't have that library, they would be so screwed. They would have been so screwed. But they got the great Disney library. But now they've announced new shows coming. I think a handful of Star Wars, handful of Marvel ones that are coming up. So quickly just go through them, get your thoughts really quick, and we'll just keep moving through. So Mandalorian, we know is coming, season 3. That's already had a green light, so we know that's coming. So that's awesome. Ahsoka got her own show now, so she's gonna get her own show, which is interesting because she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Did you watch Rebels, like the animated series? Okay. So like what I'm thinking, this is gonna be like the sequel to that series. So you should watch it. It's pretty good. It kind of starts out kind of like kiddish. It's a bit more like aimed towards kids, but kind of like the Star Wars animated shows go as they go further. It gets way more like mature and stuff as it goes. But Rebels ultimately turned out to be a really great series. So I would recommend watching
I think it's going to be set up to do a Thrawn movie. A lot of people are also speculating that.
Interesting. Well, I think they were talking about like, having kind of like a crossover like event, and I don't know if that would be like a mini series, kind of like Defenders did with Netflix, or if that would like these series that they're now creating are going to come together in like one movie with Thrawn being the villain. It'd be interesting.
Well, and at the end of the day, like I think that's why they're casting as big as they are. I think that's why they cast Rosario Dawson to be Ahsoka, because it's someone who isn't just traditionally a TV actor,
Yeah,
someone who can also be
and
in the
carry
movies as
carry
well.
her
And
own
it's like
series, right?
exactly, and I think that's where it's like remember Star Wars, unlike some Marvel, unlike definitely DC or anything like that.
Yeah,
Star Wars is just one universe. Everything that happened in Rebels and Clone Wars, that's canon. That happened in the same universe as episodes 1 through 9.
hmm
Just like what's happening in Mandalorian is in the same universe as well.
yeah,
Like
they're all in the same
same
universe.
thing
Yeah,
with like it's weird to think about that because I don't think even with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we still haven't necessarily accepted that in our brains that all these things are canon. Like I want to say technically isn't Fallen Order canon.
Fallen Order is
Like the
canon. Yeah,
so that's canon. That video game is in the same universe,
yeah.
but like the Avengers video game that came out isn't canon with the movies,
No, it's in
right?
its
So
own like
it's
game thing.
something.
Yeah,
So the Star Wars universe, it's funny that we're having to wrap our heads around the fact that it's all one canon, considering stories. Yeah, considering shows like Star Trek, all that's canon, all that's the same
hmm
universe. Um, it's been done before, but I don't think it's been done as recently and as fresh for people.
yeah,
And I think that's going to be well, that's going to be a big learning thing too because again, even with the expanded universe, we all accepted expanded universe with its own lore.
yeah.
And then the movies were the movies. But now it's like, okay guys, but this is all one big thing.
Like one big picture, and I think, and it's not like yeah, like you said, it's not like Star Wars has never been that before. But I think it's the emphasis on it now, right? Like there's so much like
Yeah.
since the MCU, there's so much emphasis on things being in the same universe. Even though that's really how Star Wars was. Like even Legends or it's Legends now, but when it was the extended universe, like you still were like, "Oh yeah, it's still the same character, still story. Like there's just no movies kind of thing, right? Like it was still part of Star Wars, but yeah, I think nowadays with the MCU, obviously there's a lot more focus and attention and it's kind of being pointed out more that things are in the same universe, so it'll be interesting to see. Um, and also with these Star Wars ones too, right? Like because we're focusing, each series is probably going to focus on different characters, but they could all culminate into like one bigger story as well, and that's
Well,
maybe something a
exactly.
little bit more unique to Star Wars. That well, obviously something the MCU does, but now it can be brought into Star Wars. And why wouldn't you do it? Like again, it's all in the same universe. They're all connected regardless of where they set time and place. But and Ahsoka's taking place roughly at the same time as like obviously a continuation of her episode that we saw.
The only question is going to be how is that going to sit with moviegoers, like movie fans who don't have Disney Plus?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Is that going to suddenly alienate them, right?
uh, as long as they keep the Disney Plus stuff in Disney Plus, probably not an issue. I think that's a better question for the MCU shows when we get into that, because those are actually
Yep.
going to be connecting into the movies. So that's an interesting topic we'll talk about. The next one they announced was Rangers of the New Republic. So this is also another Mandalorian spinoff. I'm guessing Cara Dune. Guessing it's
And
kind of be
is it
her
going to be the
show.
two X-wing pilots too?
Maybe the two. Yeah, obviously Appa from Kim's Convenience. Amazing that he was in. I don't remember the actor's name, but it was amazing that he was in there. I was like, amazing. It's Appa. But Cara Dune. I'm guessing Bill Burr is gonna be in that. And then I was thinking of what's her name? Now I can't remember. Boba Fett's like sniper chick. I thought she was gonna maybe be part of that crew by the end of the second episode, but then they announced Book of Boba Fett, and she's very much clearly still hanging out with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So I would scrap that. But yeah, no. So that's the other one, and those three are all kind of happening in the same timeline. Same as like I
Yeah.
guess and Boba Fett. So four shows that are kind of happening in that same kind of era and gap. Then they announced they didn't announce, they just reaffirmed that yes, Obi-Wan still exists. It's also happening still. But they did
Yep.
announce Hayden Christensen will be back as Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader.
Well, now Liam
Which is-
Neeson saying he wants to come back too.
Okay, but like honestly though, I feel like that would have been a shoe in anyway. I feel like like in episode 3 you made it very clear that Qui-Gon was looking to commune with Obi-Wan. if you're doing an Obi-Wan series in that time period, how could you not have Liam Neeson come back as Qui-Gon?
Well, if he wants to, then like do it, man. Like give him some of that Disney money.
Yeah, do it. But I'm actually excited. Like Hayden Christensen, we talked about when we were talking. I think we were talking about the prequels and stuff. Like his character was, yeah, it was more of like the character choices and the directing. And episode 2, he was creepy, but episode 3, he figured it out. Like he was better. He was considerably better by episode 3. I think we can all say episode 3 Anakin is considerably, minus that he killed children and stuff. Minus that part. But like as a character, he was considerably better than episode 2 Anakin.
If they write him poorly, if he has bad dialogue, I'm gonna be so mad.
And
it's gonna be on character, but like I'm just gonna be so upset.
And I can't remember the showrunner for that one. Or the director.
It's just Ewan McGregor.
I can't remember exactly. But she did.
Ewan
She
McGregor
did.
in a wig.
I'm trying to remember what episode she did. Okay, so Deborah Chow. I think it's Deborah Chow. She directed episode 4, season 1 of The Mandalorian, when his like clan showed up to like save his ass, him and Baby Grogu.
Okay.
Like that awesome episode. She's the one who's behind the Obi-Wan series. So I'm hoping they're just gonna do a great job with that. And again, Hayden Christensen. I'm sure he'll like. Will he play like Darth Vader in the suit, or will he be more flashback to Clone Wars stuff? We'll see. We'll see. If you're getting Hayden, I feel like we're probably also gonna get Clone Wars flashback things. I would guess, or else like
you'd need to.
Wait, yeah, because like just have him in the suit to walk around. Because obviously the voice would still be James Earl Jones if you're doing the full like Darth Vader outfit, right? So we'll see how that goes. Another one that was announced, Andor, which was announced before. That's the one with Cassian Andor from Rogue One. I'm sure you're not
really
hyped about that.
To watch that
I'm
show.
sure. I'm pretty sure Ethan's not hyped about that one.
Where are these characters gonna end up?
Yeah. Oh
How's
no.
How's it gonna end?
Well, dude, sometimes it's about the journey, not necessarily the destination. So we'll have to see about that.
End, like, I'm sorry, but like, man,
it is probably my least like excited. Like, I'm probably the least interested in that show.
We'll get to it, but I'm gonna shatter your world with Rogue One.
I'm sure you will. Lando was announced. I thought that was cool because
there's a Donald Glover. That's he's getting more work. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Is it just?
He's like an amazing performer too, right? But like he did such a good job of Lando. Like out of all the Solo movie, like I wasn't a huge fan of it, but like his Lando performance was spot on. Like it was scarily spot on. I was so impressed. I didn't see it coming.
I would love to see that series just be like a comedy of him dealing with shenanigans on shenanigans.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
On Shenanigans Skywalker, but dealing with shenanigans on Cloud City.
Yeah.
Like he's already in charge of Cloud City, and it's just dealing with like situation after situation. I'd watch that.
Maybe it'll be about how he gets Cloud City.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah. If that's where they want to end it, is him at Cloud City, I'm cool with that. It's Donald Glover getting more work. I'm not gonna complain any which way.
Yeah, like, and it'd be interesting to see like if we'll get like if it'll kind of end up being more as like the Solo type sequel. Like you'll see like Solo and Chewie show up here or there for an episode. Maybe we'll see like I can't remember, was it like the Red Suns or the Black Suns, like Darth Maul's group there. Maybe we'll see him show up live action again, but
finally after years of teasing.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? No doubt. He showed up plenty in animation, but we got to get him in that live stuff. Got to be in that live. Really interesting one, The Acolyte. And this is set in the High Republic era, which is the Disney's new era that they're doing for like the books and comics and stuff right now. So this is, I believe, 500 years before the movies. So it's not like thousands of years. Yoda's actually still alive and, doing stuff in this time period, but about 500 years before the movies. I believe that's what it was. But yeah, this is the High Republic era, and this is actually based on the Acolyte, and it's got like a red logo, so it's very much looking to focus on the dark side. So maybe like, the Sith in hiding during this time period.
So you're just excited. You're just an excited person.
I am excited. This is really like we're getting some really, really interesting Star Wars content.
Yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of thing,
What
if you're a
you're
nerd,
well, I think my, my wife's a nerd. She calls me a nerd, so I'm pretty sure I'm in solid nerd territory. Dude, I literally got a whole bunch of pens with different colors so I could like track my writing and like like organize my outlines and stuff for my stories better. Like I'm kind of definitely on the edge, if not already over.
hey man,
Um,
as long as it's bringing you joy.
it does. It does. But the Acolyte, yeah, we don't know too much about it, but sounds interesting. The Bad Batch, which is not really.
Okay, that I'm confused by. Is it in context? Because I haven't watched all of Clone Wars.
Uh,
Is it
from what I
is it
saw from the
about?
trailers, it looks like it takes place after Order 66
So
for the
is the
most
Bad
part.
Batch a batch of people, like a batch of troopers that didn't fulfill Order 66, or is it
No, the
about
Bad Batch
a
is like
bunch of?
troopers who had like genetic mutations kind of thing. Like it's like they're not like missing like arms or something. They're just special, and they like hyper specialize in like certain aspects. But like being put together
Yeah.
as a team, they're like a super kind of commando unit kind of thing.
So
They're
like,
in the first like 4 episodes of the new Clone Wars series that they dropped.
but yeah, but it's like, is this a series of like clone troopers hunting Jedi? Because I'm not on board for that.
No, I
It's not
think
gonna
I
be a
don't.
good.
I don't think I don't think they participate in Order 66.
So like they're defective and they
Yeah,
basically need to try and escape.
yeah,
I'm fine with
that's
that.
kind of what
I
it
was
looks
very
like.
confused.
And like Boba Fett sniper chick, she's in there. Um, like
Yeah, I saw
and
the
this is
helmet and I was
animated,
like,
but
hey.
yeah.
No,
Um,
I'm curious about it
then
more
what
than
else does it
anything.
say here? On the bottom of the list here. So yeah, that's an animated one. So like, I didn't really care for the characters in the actual Clone Wars series, so we'll have to see about that. Not overly excited. Star Wars Visions apparently, which is like some kind of anime side project in like Star Wars one-off episodes.
Sure,
So yeah,
we'll go
I
with
don't
it.
remember that. And then a droid story, which is looks like it's an animated series featuring R2 and 3PO in some way.
That's never gone wrong
But
ever.
yeah, no. So that is the Star Wars one. So there's some
Did you
really
ever
good ones,
watch
but like some questionable ones. We'll have to see.
did you ever watch Star Wars Droids? Like, did you ever
No,
watch the Droids cartoon?
no.
Oh my goodness, man, you are missing out, and not in a good way.
Oh, good.
Like, have you ever seen like the Ewoks cartoon?
No.
So okay, so around the same time there was a Droids cartoon and an Ewoks
Yeah.
cartoon. And the best way I can describe the Ewoks cartoon is it's like Care Bears but with Ewoks.
Right.
It's like the Care Bears and Smurfs except for like rolled into one, but it's all Ewoks.
Yeah.
So it's like this weirdly adorable, terribly written show about just the Ewoks. They talk in English and all that kind of stuff. They go on adventures. And then droids, which doesn't make any sense because there's no specific time frame that it takes place in. Like, I
Right.
think it's supposed to take place between episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But this was well before episode 1, 2, and 3 happened. This is like a 90s cartoon,
Oh.
like early 90s,
Yeah.
maybe late 80s. So like it just makes no sense, but it's R2D2 and C3PO just doing shenanigans with other people that aren't anyone from the main
That you would know.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a weird action adventure series, and I need to sit down and try and rewatch it, but I used to rent the VHSs from oh no, that was on the other side of the city. I don't know if do you have Video Time? No? Were you
No.
just a Blockbuster? So when I grew up in the place where we grew up, when I grew up in Saskatoon, down maybe about 5 minutes away from my house, maybe like a 10-minute walk, there was a little corner video rental store called Video Time.
Okay.
And that's where I grew up. I didn't go to Blockbuster; they were too expensive.
Well,
But
we
this is
also went
a
to like
little
Family
locally
Video
owned-
and stuff. We had a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Of them. Whole bunch of them back
It was
in
a
the
little
day.
locally owned place, and it was so good. It was the best. It was so much better than Blockbuster. Like, so much better. And so much of my childhood came from that rental place.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it did. Like, it was just they'd have really random kid cartoon VHSs. That's how I grew up watching a lot of TV shows that I couldn't because they weren't on TV anymore.
Hmm.
We could rent any of the video game systems and games. It's like, oh man, like just thinking about it immediately just throws me back, like just in my brain to like one of the most nostalgic times. Like video stores, I miss rental places.
I
As
do
someone who
too.
works,
I do
someone who
too.
works selling movies, I miss rental places because they're just such a different energy.
I wish I could take my kids there and like, especially like Max right now, to like go to a movie store and like see like the whole wall of just like movies after movies after movie. Like,
Because again, like
we're totally missing out something there.
you
It's a
could take
sad
them to
thing.
like a video store to buy, but it's not the same
No, it's
feel.
not. No,
Because
no.
like the rental was just, again, you had limited choices. You didn't have all this crap. They had the best of the best for you to rent.
Yeah,
And they'd have a few not great movies there, but a lot of it was like, because when you're renting, you want to make sure you have movies that people want to rent.
yeah,
You'd want to have stuff that was in high demand.
yeah.
And like, again, as someone who works in a movie store, like it's not the same because there's so much extra stuff that just it wouldn't sell,
No.
right? So it's one of those things of just it doesn't quite feel the same. And again, I have a massive there's a massive hole in my heart from that lack of video rental place.
And it's
It's
sad.
just not the same, man.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah, I always say like our generation's like the generation and like nostalgia. I know I'm not the only one that says that, but it's like our childhood like just disappeared so quickly with like the increased rise of technology and advancements.
Well, and it happened
Like
so quickly.
it did, like faster than any
We've
other
gone from
faster than any other generation. Like humans have always moved forward, but it's been at like a snail's crawl. You know what I mean? Like things
we've gone
stayed
from
the same for so
VHS to
long.
VHS and 4K in less than 30
Yeah,
years.
and that's one thing, but then to like completely have your whole childhood stripped away and like completely disappear. So many things that like we did as kids, like kids today are like, what like what? Like just there's not even remotely close. It's back in our day, it's like, oh, our parents played outside. Oh, so did we. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of thing. But nowadays, they're just like, the hell's a movie store? You know what I mean? Like to rent things out. Like
Yeah.
they'll never have that
What do you
experience, and they'll
mean
never get
renting?
close to that experience. Like it's just
No, and it's
everything
it's
we
not
grew
the
up
same.
with
The
just
streaming
disappeared, man. That's why we're nostalgic. That's why we're nostalgic people.
the streaming sites aren't the same either. Because yeah, you
It
can
isn't
rent
the
some
same.
stuff on there,
No,
but
it
it
isn't
doesn't
the
feel the
same.
same. You go
I
in,
mean,
you pick up a VHS case, you look at it and go like, "This is kind of cool art. What is this about?"
yeah,
Like it's
I know. There's just something
be
about it.
kind, rewind,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and that, like, man, like, and that's okay. Actually, help me remember this. Um, the cases at Blockbuster, the ones they gave you didn't have the picture, like didn't have the art of the movie. It was just like a blank thing with the title on it.
Sometimes, yeah.
But digging through the titles, all of them had like the sleeves and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
But again, and so this is another testament of like the difference between a movie store that sells movies now versus the lack of selection that these rental places had.
Hmm.
Everything was pretty well faced in the rental places, so you'd see the cover, you'd see the artwork.
Yeah.
Whereas like now everything's spined, everything just like you can only see like the spines, you have to kind of read it, right? So like cover art, to me it almost feels like cover art and posters have become like an afterthought
Hmm.
because it's less about the image that grabs you and it's more about like how much social media buzz you can build. And it's like, no, but what about that experience of going into a movie store, going into a rental place and just seeing cover art that you're like, oh, what's this? I want to watch this because of how the art looks.
Well, yeah, and that's not a thing anymore. Like it is kind of, right? But it's not the same because again, we're talking about the internet. We're talking about us being so connected. Like we have the little computers in our pockets that we're constantly connected to social media. We're constantly connected to advertisers who can throw shit at our face all the time.
Yeah.
When you went to those movie theaters, sometimes like, and especially as a kid, you didn't know what just came out. You weren't always tracking every single movie because we weren't as connected back then. It's like you got on the internet, but it was like dial up, and your parents get pissed off because you're using the phone line. You know what I mean? So you can only stay on so long. And by the time you got a list of movies coming up, it was 20 minutes later by the time it loaded. Like it just took forever. So sometimes you wouldn't know
Well,
what
that's where
came out. So you'd get to see like, oh, here's the like the artwork from the movie, or you'd see the artwork from a movie you saw in theater months ago, and you're like, oh, I didn't know this was out. Let's get it, and you were just hyped
if
as
you
hell.
wanted if you wanted to know the new movie releases back when we were kids, you had to go into the newspaper
Yeah,
and you had to go to like find the cinema you were looking
yeah,
for and
yeah. The
see
newspaper was huge. Yeah,
that was how we used to check
yeah.
movies. Like we didn't check the webs we didn't check websites at all. There weren't movie listings
But and
for the
honestly, like
longest
yeah,
time. Like
like we're getting older, but like us being kids wasn't that long ago, especially in the grand scheme of like humanity. So to like see again, my point is how much of us like how much has changed in our lives
yeah.
from like when we were kids to now. Like so much of it has been completely wiped away and just
Well, and it's
non-existent anymore.
I've talked to people about this before. There definitely seems to be like a lack of exploration.
Well, because
It's
everything
not
just
quite as
comes
much
to
of
you. You don't have to
yeah,
go out and
exactly.
find it. Yeah.
Like there's not as much and again, where I work has really been helpful with this because so it's funny. It's for me. It's like when I receive stuff. It's like a kid on Christmas
Yeah.
because I open up these boxes and it's like, ooh, what's new and exciting? And that's how I found out about new stuff half the time is like what we get, and that's exciting for me. That's fun because it's a bit more of that exploration. And there's been a lot of movies I would never have thought to look twice at
Hmm.
that I've tried and watched just from working there, which has been good.
Yeah.
But it's just there is definitely a lack of actual exploration and discovery. But I think, and I want to say that again. I think you hit the nail on the head. It is an internet thing. It's a lack of needing to search things out when you can just Google what was this movie that like again that's
Well,
it Google's a tool and I think it's great,
yeah.
but it again it takes away that sense of wonder. Again, the sense of exploration.
Yeah.
Like it's
To
a
go
lot
and
more.
find the word. To go and find your answers. Yeah. 100%, man. I don't know how we even get on that topic. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I mentioned video time.
Oh, we were
for some
probably just
reason.
talking about the streaming
Oh, the
services
droids,
anyway or
the
something.
droids.
Oh, we're talking about the droids. We're talking about the droids, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I'll try and rewatch them and I'll report back to
Okay,
you
sounds
about
good.
how great and terrible it is. But like I just have flashes of images and then like have you seen the Star Wars special ever or no?
No, I didn't see like anything
holiday
other, yeah, I
special?
didn't see any like the side stuff.
So you've never seen the holiday special,
No.
like so I always get it kind of mixed up in my brain though. But there's that Boba Fett cartoon that's in the holiday special, which is arguably the best part of that holiday special. But it's so weird and the animation is just bizarre. So I'll get flashes of that mixed up with the droids cartoon, and it's just it's a whole mess.
It's just a mess. There was a time no one like what do we do with Star Wars now? We don't
Yeah,
we
like
don't
that's
know.
the thing. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
No one had any idea, and anyone who's like, "Oh, George Lucas, he knew. He was a genius." No, he had no idea.
It's like what should I do
And
now?
then he stumbled upon the prequels, and then he stumbled upon selling it, and then he had no clue
Like
what he
yeah,
was doing.
you just well, like just even from personal experience, sometimes when I finish a project, it's like, what do I do now? Like, because you work so
There's
hard to get to that end point that you're like, now what? Right? There is that sense of things. I'm sure, especially if you're working on a big project like the original trilogy, by the time you do get to the end of that and it's out and it's done, it's like, now what? Right? Yeah.
I think I should be able to play this clip. If not, we can discuss and possibly edit around it. But there's a thing from TikTok where it's the what's your favorite celebrity interview? And there's a perfect one here that I think will definitely speak to you as a writer. It spoke to me as a writer and just made me laugh quite a bit. Here, I'm just gonna play this for you.
Moment. I don't think anyone, and I'd be worried if someone actually did do this, I don't think anyone actually says, I'm going to make a movie where the theme is about blah, 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 blah. Theme is something that comes later once you've finished the film. Then some nerdy film student goes, I think the theme is about loyalty. And then you go, yeah, totally. I was totally thinking about loyalty when I made this. Faking it till you make it. And I did that a lot.
What is your favorite
Like, and
celebrity?
that's like, it's so true.
Yeah,
It's basically
and here's the thing, right? Like you create, like you can like try and focus your story around a theme and idea, but like a lot
But
of
it doesn't
stories, like still
start
like you
off
still
like
create
that.
them. They have a life of their own. But then here's the other best part is that we've talked about this, and stories are so subjective to the people watching them. Like you and I can watch one scene and get two totally different things out of that scene, and then forget about even talking about a film,
Dude.
right? Because we all
Well,
see
my fav-
things through our own lenses and our experiences and pick up on different things. So we even sometimes pick up on different themes and ideas than what was even intended or thought about. Yeah, it is.
one of
it
my
is true.
favorite instances of that is like, so the short film we shot a year ago
Yeah.
or so. We had written the script, and I had written the script, and I was written it around the idea. Like, I got the idea halfway through that it was based off depression.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that, and then we sent it to our cinematographer, and he's like, gets back to, he's like, oh, I really like that. I really like the themes. I thought it was really cool what the theme was. And we're like, oh, cool. What was that? And he's like, oh man, I just love it was about white privilege. And I'm like, it's about what now? Like, no, but like how? And he explained how he drew the parallels of white privilege in the story that I had
Yeah.
written. And it worked. But I had no way had I written it like that with that in mind. It was
Yeah.
about people dealing and coping with being depressed.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool moment. I love things like that where people can just draw their own ideas from something,
And,
and it's not wrong. It's
and
not
that-
wrong.
and that's-
It's 100%.
that's the beauty of storytelling. Like that's the beauty of art, right? Like everyone sees everything slightly differently. You'll have some groups of people that'll see like similar things, but depending on your experiences or from your viewpoint or what you've lived through, some people may pick up on totally other things, or your principles or the things that are really important to you, or even like whatever period and transition in your life you're going into, right? Like we just always pick up different things. You can watch the same movie and find different themes each time you watch it if you watch it like 10 years apart, right? So it's so interesting.
Simple stuff like how you interpret color.
Yeah.
If I say the color red, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm asking you. If I say the
Oh,
color red,
I
what
think
do
of
you think?
red, but like how we see red may be
Well,
different.
but if you were to interpret red into an emotion, what I say red, you say
Oh, NR. I say NR.
NR.
I'll tell you later. It's like anger though. Like for me, like red is kind of like an anger thing. It's like I think that's the whole Sith dark side kind of in me mindset.
Whereas for me, I see it as love or heroic.
Yeah,
Right?
fair enough.
And
Like
that's what,
Superman, Spider-Man. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
like name like basically you can do that with almost anything. Colors work really well, but you can do that with almost anything. Is you can name like say, well, cats. What do cats make you feel?
annoyed.
How do you interpret cats?
annoyed?
See, and I love cats,
Yeah.
so I think that they're cuddly and warm, right? Like and that's kind of the best way you can look at film and storytelling is like that. Any little thing can mean something to a different person.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like even within different cultures,
Mhm.
right? Like obviously different colors mean different things in different cultures. Cats mean different things in different cultures. Like for some they worship, for some they eat, for some they're pets.
Fair
Like,
enough. Yeah.
but that's again, like as you said, that's the beauty of storytelling. Is it just there's those differences and nuances within everyone's brains.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that also gets a little ruined by the internet. I think a little bit of that kind of people get swayed very
By
easily
their
by
own influences, how they perceive something by someone else.
I read this
yeah.
on the internet and it
Yeah.
says this thing. I read this on this and
Yeah.
like
Well, and it's very similar to in school too, right? Like when you did a book project or where the teacher was teaching a book and they're like, "These are the themes. This is what it means," and I'm like, "But I'm not really getting that." And I'm like, also always had the thought maybe the writer was just writing a freaking book, man. Maybe they just thought it was a dope story. Like, and I think that happens sometimes too, right? Like they're just like, "Oh, this is a great story." Like I was kind of telling you, like right now I'm just working on this quick little short story, probably like 4 to 6 pages or so, not very long, Like, I think it's just like, oh, this is a really interesting story. Like, someone could get something more out of that than what I even planned. So to say something is one thing or another thing objectively, which is like this is a solid and true fact, unless it literally comes from the actual artist themselves. Because then I think that you could say is objective, like this is what they were intending to do, but then what people take out of it always becomes subjective after that, up to interpretation.
And that's the beauty of art.
The beauty of art. Ah, man, I love when we get into like these like just really like interesting conversations. Never know how we get there, but yet somehow we get there.
It's more like, I know we do this a lot, but like I like it better than our just random reviews of movies sometimes.
Yeah.
When we get philosophical, because it's fun. It's a nice break from like, I watched this movie. Did you like it? No. Okay.
No.
Don't worry, folks. That's gonna be coming up.
Yeah,
That'll happen.
that'll happen.
But oh, trust me, it's gonna happen.
Oh,
It's
it's
I have thoughts and feelings about things, and you're not gonna be
God
happy.
damn it, Ethan. I always hate when you have thoughts and feelings. Why can't your thoughts and feelings just be like mine?
Because then I wouldn't be an individual. And back to art.
Oh yeah, good point. Art.
Art.
Yay, art.
No, you're
Stories.
saying it wrong. You gotta say art. You gotta be tortured when you say it.
Art.
It's art.
Art.
Yeah. I'm a true artist, and when I was writing this, I was really thinking about the duality of man, and the struggle within, and boobs. I was thinking about boobs a lot. Artistic boobs.
Very artistic.
Art. Yeah. Boobs. Art. Do you like that? Do you like that side boob? Well, you shouldn't. 'Cause
That's my side boob.
Gross.
Okay. Anyway, we'll put this philosophical conversation that really devolved very quickly to the side for a sec.
Well, because that's all the Star Wars shows, right? Like, you went through all
Yeah,
the
that was Star
shows.
Wars. We got the Marvel ones to quickly roll through. And
I mean, one starts tomorrow.
one starts literally, from tomorrow, from the day we're
Like,
recording this.
tomorrow.
Actually, on some time zones, it's probably already out right now. I'm actually, once we're done recording this, I might just go see if it's out. I might watch an episode. I don't know. We'll see. Or I'll
don't know
go
if
to
I'm that
bed.
brave yet, but-
you know how it goes.
Responsible adult.
But yeah, coming out right away, WandaVision. And this is kind of like the first new piece of MCU content we've gotten since Spider-Man Far From Home.
I'm okay with the break.
Which I agree. Like, I was talking to my daughter about this. I said, you know what? It's not even that bad. Like, it wasn't obviously an intentional break. But I think after Endgame, like, because again, like, that's the closing of the story and the closing of the chapter. You kind of feel like, okay, this story's done. Like, you almost need that break to, like, kind of get refreshed and ready for the next stage of the story.
Honestly, if I have to give my honest opinion, I really think that Far From Home should have been the beginning of the next chapter. It shouldn't have been the end of that. It should have started Phase 4.
Yeah, I would agree with
because
that.
I think that would be a better way to see the heroes dealing with, like, how are we going to deal with it? Oh, also on a complete side note, apparently I just saw news today. I didn't look into it. There's actual discussion already about bringing Chris Evans back as Captain America.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't really know how confirmed it is, but I didn't look into it, so I can't say.
All I know,
didn't read
yeah,
the
that's
article.
exactly. I saw it on the Marvel subreddit, so I was like, okay, it's
Could be a thing.
it's something.
Probably
It's-
for
it
like
could be legit.
cameo type things, I would imagine.
Anything Chris Evans wants to be in,
He's
cool with.
amazing.
I don't
His
care.
Captain America's tops, man. Tops. But yeah,
Exactly.
WandaVision starts right away. So that'll be interesting to see. That one's very like apparently just leans really heavy on like the whole sitcom aspect, and it's very what I've seen it is very unique and different take to anything they've done before. So that's interesting.
I'm
I'll
good
be
with
interested
it.
to see it. Yeah,
I love those
It looks like
characters
a
too,
fun
so-
time. It does, doesn't it? Great characters. After that, and that one also leads. I think they said into Doctor Strange too, or there's like a connection there. I think there's a connection between that Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2. So,
Which I'm kind of bummed
Keep
out
in
because I
mind-
just would like Spider-Man to
eye
get a
open.
Spider-Man movie.
well, I think it'd be like, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out, but because we haven't even seen trailers
Just
for
let-
it yet, so it's hard to say.
Let
Can't judge it
Spidey
yet.
be Spidey.
Well, I'm hoping this is the movie that it's like he kind of like comes into his own fully, right? Like that would be
Oh no, I'm fine
Ideal.
with that. I just mean, like, I'm tired of his movies always being a bigger event than being a Spider-Man movie because it always
Oh,
feels
yeah.
like it's
I get what you're
It always
saying.
feels like it's tied to Avengers, and it's like, okay, but how about we just do a Spider-Man story?
I get what you're saying. The next one coming up, which is March, so it'll be, I think WandaVision ends and then this one will start, is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
That I'm on board
I'm
for.
super hyped for that. Of course, you got Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan back. You have Daniel Bruhl, who played Zemo in
Mr.
Civil
Zemo.
War. So that's really cool. He's coming back.
And he gets the mask.
Yeah,
He gets the
Yeah.
purple mask.
Emily Van Camp. So
Um,
no, that one's a nice. I think that'll be another interesting
Dude,
series and a great continuation from Endgame, right?
the one I'm really excited for, and like no one really talks about it, but Wyatt Russell cast as U.S. Agent.
Yeah,
That's a character I've been excited. Like I read U.S. Agent comics growing up. It's Captain America if he thought he was the Punisher, because it's just like it's this dude who basically dresses in a different costume and has a gun.
yeah,
And just like it's amazing, and the fact that they got Wyatt Russell to play him, I think he's gonna be great, and I think it's gonna. If I had to speculate, it's gonna be this devolution of this guy who like starts out being like, yeah, I'm just like Cap, everything's great and swell, to him basically just devolving into like,
just
no,
crazy as hell.
not everything's great,
Yeah.
and everyone's gotta die.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, right? That seems like a
I'm-
very solid arc that would his character would probably take.
I'm excited for it. I'm jazzed for it.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, no, and
What else
it's
do you
kind of
got?
like interesting too. I just want to point out, like, as we're going through these Marvel ones, I like you did mention like there is kind of that issue where it's like, oh, how do the movie fans feel if they can't watch these things? Or they're going to be disconnect. For me, like, I just think it's such a like, and Disney Plus isn't really that much a month. Like, really, it's not. But I guess some people, especially with COVID, it's super tight right now. But if you can get it, you can get it, I guess. But I just appreciate there's a platform for these like smaller stories for characters that we really care about. Because if there was no Disney
agree.
Plus, like, we wouldn't get a Falcon and Winter Soldier movie. We wouldn't get a WandaVision that's like a sitcom movie. You know what I mean? So it's kind of nice that this platform exists and they're using it what it's for, like these smaller character stories. That'll have probably, I would imagine, like just kind of like the Mandalorian, the scale of the movies and the budget of the movies, but you just have this unique way to tell these stories that don't take up theater space. You can only make so many movies, right? And put them out.
I'm happy with the way they look because they don't look like TV shows. They look like they're actually like going to be movie level budgets just stretched out over a few
Yeah.
episodes, which I like.
Yeah, which is exciting. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm like, I think it's great that Disney has a platform and they're going to make content that is taking the most advantage of that platform. After that is Loki. Loki is following the Loki from Endgame after he grabbed the Tesseract and like zipped away. So it should be interesting. I think it's
I'm
already
curious
been
about that one.
confirmed for season 2 as well. But Owen Wilson's
I
in it.
didn't
That's
know
kind of
Owen
cool.
Wilson was. I did not know he was going to be.
No,
in it,
I'm like,
and
that's
I saw
pretty
the
cool.
trailer and I was like, oh, okay, all right. We got a Wilson brother in the DC universe, and we got a Wilson brother in the Marvel universe.
There we
So,
go.
all right, we got.
All right. Hi.
Oh wow!
Wow.
It's Owen Wilson. Oh,
Wow. Wow.
I
I
watched the
couldn't
trailer for
remember
Loki,
what.
and I was
I'm like,
just like-
what the hell does he say again? Wow.
I was watching that trailer for Loki, and then he just came on, and just wow!
I was like,
just blown
wow.
away.
It's Owen Wilson. Yeah, I was hyped about that.
It's just I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Owen Wilson. I was just like, wow.
Next up is Marvel What If, which is like an animated thing.
I read the comics. What If? I'm excited for these alternate takes. I'm cool that it's animated. There is
And it is like, yeah,
nothing.
alternate takes of like all these like characters that we've loved. And the actual actors are voicing the characters. It's not like they're getting like sound-alikes. The actual
I think it's
actors
Chadwick Boseman's-
are
I think
actually
it's
there
Chadwick Boseman's last
as
performance
Black
in
Panther,
this, right?
yeah, or whatever he's going, like whatever, however they switch it up, but
The Star-Lord Black Panther hybrid that he'll be.
yeah. So it should be interesting. No, I'm hyped for that. After that is Hawkeye. So that one says premiere date 2022. So that I don't know if that'll
That I'm
probably
cool
be
with.
next year.
Like honestly, man, any of the Marvel shows, like I'll just blanket statement this, and I'm just gonna say I'm excited for any of them.
Fair
Like,
enough. Yeah.
it's more superheroes for me, and that's like at this point I just trust Marvel because they haven't done wrong yet. Like there's again, my biggest complaints with the Marvel movies is either that they're too much of the same or Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And Spider-Man isn't even ran by like it's ran by Marvel but not. It's just
yeah.
like it's a whole thing.
And I think, yeah, again with these Disney Plus series, they have the opportunity to shake it up too. Like WandaVision is gonna be totally completely different from anything we've seen before. But there's no way they'd make a movie like that different. You know what I mean? Like that out to left field probably.
If they did, I think you're 100% right. If they did a movie of WandaVision, it wouldn't be in a TV show.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be based in a TV world. It would be based in a movie
Yeah.
world. It would be a different
It'd be a different take
sort of
on
thing.
it. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm fine with that. Like again, I trust them at this point.
Well, they've earned it, right? They've shown
Like,
they care about
as
their
bad
product,
as-
they care about their characters, they care about the stories they're telling. And like yeah, you've had like recasts and like there's a couple drop little plot points, but eventually they always kind of somehow pick those up. Like I remember in Civil War when I saw that General Ross was coming back as like the Secretary of Defense, I was like, no freaking way, because he hadn't been in anything since Incredible Hulk, which so much like a lot of the things from that movie just got dropped, right? But I think I think it is one of these tier. We'll get to in a sec, but I think Abomination's even supposed to be, or at least rumored to be coming back as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of fun when they can pick up things later on. So anyway, Hawkeye, that's coming out. Miss Marvel, so a brand new character, is going to be taking a Disney Plus series, as well as Moon Knight, another brand new character for the
Oscar
MCU.
Isaac?
Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, which is going to be dope.
I was gonna correct you and be like, dude, these aren't new characters. They've been around for a
No,
while.
not new
And then I was
character.
like, he said
no,
MCU.
for the
He
MCU. For
said
the MCU, yeah. Because what we have pretty much so far is just continuations of these characters that we've already known. But once we start getting to 2022, we are starting to see new characters, and of course, Hawkeye even has a new character as well, like his little trainee, female Hawkeye. What's the character's name again? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Oh
I'm
crap!
trying to think of her name.
It's Kate Bishop.
Kate
is the
Bishop.
name of
Yeah,
the-
yeah, that's it.
I'm like, but she has. I want to say she has a superhero name, but
It's
I could
Hawkeye.
be wrong. Oh, I guess so. It
I
really is.
guess
I'm just dumb.
it's Hawkeye. I was like, bro, it's Hawkeye. So no, this is Jeremy Renner, his Hawkeye training Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. So again, we have a series with introducing another new character
Well, I love
into the
Jeremy
MCU.
Renner too. Jeremy Renner's so good, and like I'm just excited for
He
that.
is, man. What else? She-Hulk.
I was about
Again,
to say, man, that's the one I'm
another
the most
character
excited
going
for.
into the MCU, which should be good
Like-
because Tim Roth is that. Okay, so it says Tim Roth is in there and he's Abomination and Mark Ruffalo. So we're gonna have like the actual Hulk, Abomination back.
They finally confirmed that the actress who originally was announced into it and denied being in it is actually
She is the one, eh?
She is. She's from Regina.
That's so cool. I
She's
remember
a
it.
Saskatchewan. We gotta support
Oh
it,
my
man.
god, dreams come true, man.
You can do anything.
Yeah, no,
if
I'll
you,
definitely
if
be
you
watching
believe.
that.
Like, yeah, man. Like, I'm.
So no, like those are like 4 right in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Really new characters into the MCU, and I'm really excited what they're gonna do with them. What else have we got? Secret Invasion was announced.
That I'm on the fence with because that's how they've set up the Skrulls in this world. I'm a little.
Well, I think it's gonna be a very different version, right? And the MCU
that's-
generally
I
does.
think-
Like they'll take like these big names and then completely kind of change them.
And we've discussed it in the past. I have a problem with
Yeah.
that. It would be like it would literally be like if you made a She-Hulk show and then had nothing to do with She-Hulk, you just kind of threw it on there and then like
Kinda, but that's like specifically a character. Like they just take events and adjust the events, or like use the events as inspiration. Like I think a lot of the core will be the same, like very similar, but like however they'll fit it into this series. But no, I'm interested to see that. Anything Samuel L. Jackson is, I'm good. And Ben Mendelsohn, come on, man. That's some
Yeah, I
great
mean, like,
talent there.
honestly, yeah, like dude, Ben Mendelsohn is just great and everything.
Right?
He's such a
Like I
good
just want to
actor.
see more of that. So I'm
If
excited
they
about
ever
that.
tried to remake Breakfast Club, you would cast Ben Mendelsohn as the principal.
right.
He's like, I can't think there's a single like even again I don't like Rogue One. Ben Mendelsohn is great in that movie. He's just wasted.
Yeah, there's not
Like
too
they
much for
wasted.
there really isn't too much for him to do in that movie, I don't think.
They just made
I
him
haven't seen it
Tarkin
forever.
light.
You're Tarkin Jr., bro.
But he's great. He's a great actor.
He's
Like,
fantastic
like
in anything he's in. What else we got here? Some Iron Ones, Iron Heart, which is a fairly new character. In the comics and obviously in the MCU. But like
I was expecting this to drop for a while though. Like as soon as they announced her in the comics, I'm like, cool. Like,
that's got to
like,
be
yes,
coming to
bring
the
her.
MCU sooner than later.
And
yeah.
like they could have brought her in sooner if they wanted to.
I think the character's name is like Riri Williams, right?
I think so.
I
haven't read too much about the character. I just
I don't know other than she's
I'm just all for her. Like,
she Iron Man.
No, she Ironheart.
She Ironheart.
She her own character.
She's Ironheart. So no, that'll be interesting.
I remember that there was a lot of people frustrated, myself included, where it's like, oh, it's female Iron Man, and it's like, no, she has an Iron Man suit, but she's not Iron Man. She's her own.
She
character.
really
Call
is.
her by her name.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
What's like? It would be like if it'd be like anytime we talk about Batwoman, it's like, oh look, it's the female Batman. It's like,
but
no,
a
it's
woman.
Batwoman. Like
it's her own
like
character.
no, guys, it's her own character. It's oh look, it's the female Spider-Man. No, it is her own character.
No doubt. Let's see here.
Have they announced Spider-Woman? If that's going to be a thing that's happening, or is that still rumors?
No, I don't got anything on Spider-Woman that was announced.
Dude, I want a Spider-Woman show so bad.
Armor Wars was announced, which is Don Cheadle.
A bunch of iron.
It's a War Machine series, I think.
I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I love War Machine, man. Especially Don Cheadle in there. Come on.
I feel like these series are just ways to get their actors more paychecks, because I'm pretty sure they get paid more per episode than they would.
Probably.
Like for doing 8 episodes, they probably get paid more than making one. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Again, like I just think it's a great. I think they're just using the tools they have at their disposal really well by telling these like smaller character stories that they wouldn't obviously get the chance to. Because again, we talked like you can only put so many movies out in theaters that till people get like tired of them, right? And you got to remember too, the MCU is the MCU, but you also got DC and like other types of those kind of movies like also in there as well, right? So people kind of like people like us, we understand that MCU DC is different. But there's a lot of people who are just like a superhero movie is a superhero movie. Like they just have no clue what the difference is, and there's a lot of people like that. So you can get like over superhero movie like too crunched. So to put them into Disney Plus is just a really great way to get around that. Introduce some new characters, and I'm sure like while these characters are having their series, we're still gonna get like we're gonna start getting like X-Men and obviously Fantastic Four on the movie side is coming as well. So
yeah, I have feelings about Fantastic Four, and it's just solely on who they got as the director.
Oh, because it's a Spider-Man guy.
Yeah, and man, I can't express to you
like,
how important
who got
Fantastic
the
Four is
director?
to me.
Yeah,
Like Fantastic
Mark
Four
Webb?
to me is
I can't remember who
huge.
did that.
Like, no, it's John Watts.
John Watts.
Like guy who did and like
well, Mark Webb did
I'm
one of them.
fine.
Was he made? Was he made?
Mark Webb did the 2 Amazing
Yeah, okay.
Spider-Man.
I was like, I know Mark Webb did Spider-Man. I can't remember which movies.
I'd be fine if Mark Webb did it, because he had somewhat of a vision. The problem I have with the Spider-Man movies is they're so cookie cutter Marvel. I don't want Fantastic Four to be that. I don't want Fantastic Four to just be directed by a yes man. I want someone with a vision. And that's because of how important they are to me. And I could be wrong. I'll eat my words. If he directs an amazing Fantastic Four movie and it's the best thing in the world, I'll be happy.
Well, let's be honest. The Fantastic Four bar isn't that high. Like the bar he has to get over is like not that high. Unfortunately,
the thing is, I'm not talking about just better than the last ones. I'm talking about like it just needs to be good. Like
it needs to be significantly better. Yeah, I get you.
It needs to be Fantastic Four, and like this one it's connected to my dad. It's connected to me. It's a really this franchise is really important to me. Like it was one of the first things me and my dad really kind of bonded over.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gave me his old I have all his old Fantastic Four comics from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
because he's like, yeah, you like comics? Here, read what I used to read growing up. And like, because I know how much important it is to my dad, it's important
me
to me
too.
now. And it's like I need to defend this with all my might.
I get you. It goes beyond just like, oh, I like these guys. I get you.
Yeah, it's gonna. I'd love to be able to go to a Fantastic Four movie with my dad where we both walk out feeling successful.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way I can put that. Feeling like we won, because that's, yeah. Like, again, these characters are so important, and because we did go to see. I saw both the original Fantastic Four movies with Dad in theaters, so that was a good experience. But again, both of us were just kind of like, so they had good moments, but they also had some bad moments. Okay.
Hit and miss. Hit and miss.
And then Fan Four Stick, me and him just
Like,
both
what
were
is this?
very upset with.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't the Fantastic Four he knew growing up, and even for me, like,
I don't think that was the
It
Fantastic
wasn't.
Four anyone knew at that point. Everyone's like, what is this? What are we watching?
well, it's a horror movie. Why
like
is
part
Fantastic
horror,
Four
yeah.
a horror movie?
Part horror. Ah, yeah. But no, that's kind of series coming to Disney Plus. I know there's like movies we didn't talk about. Rogue One is gonna be a movie, or not Rogue One, Rogue Squadron. Making a Rogue Squadron movie for Disney Plus.
Is it for Disney Plus or
It's
theaters
for
or
Disney
both
Plus,
kind
I
of thing?
think. I think it's specifically for Disney Plus.
I'm on the fence about that one just because of
Yeah, Patty Jenkins. And then MCU always has like a whole list of movies coming out, like Doctor Strange 2, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man 3, Thor, Love and Thunder. The list goes on. Obviously, we kind of have a better idea what's coming out there, but yeah, no, I think again what they're doing with Disney Plus and what they're doing with their platform, that they're able to tell these like smaller, more interesting, more like specific, and I'm hoping unique stories that they wouldn't always be able to tell on the theater screens, or be able to tell all of them on the theater screens, right?
better than how HBO Max is going
It,
right
it
now.
definitely is. So, and seeing as Disney Plus has just been running with The Mandalorian, to have some like new shows, knowing that they're coming, and like knowing what's
if
coming
all
out
of these
is really
shows-
exciting.
If all these shows are half as good as Mandalorian is, I'll be content.
Anyway, no, with Disney Plus, I think they're just doing a great job using the platform, getting to share these more unique, these smaller character stories, these continuation of stories that we would never have gotten in the movie theaters. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, we wouldn't have got a movie about them because there's so many other movies.
Maybe.
There's so many other movies they have to do, right? And we get all these new characters. I just think they're doing a great job with Star Wars and Marvel. And like you said, if they're half as good as The Mandalorian, we're super
We're golden,
lucky right
like-
now. Like, we live in a time of amazing stories and amazing television. Truly,
Man,
we
it's
do.
Disney. They're just gonna throw money at it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm cool with
And-
it. You say, hey, you guys want this person over here? Pff, done.
Exactly. All right, so let's move in now that we've gotten nice and caught up with everything we've kind of missed since our break. I didn't think it was going to take us that long, but it did. There's a lot of stuff to go through. Plus,
Lots of
some
good conversation. And
philosophical conversations there, so that's always good.
one, Matt, me and you haven't talked face to face.
I know, we haven't talked for a
while.
long time.
It's almost like we had lives for a while.
It's almost if we had to live. But yeah, so we're just gonna wrap up this episode. We're gonna head into the question of the day, and then all the other things we watched over the break. That's gonna be episode 2. So it actually works out pretty nicely. Ethan, you're up for question of the day.
So Matt, what's your movie New Year's resolution?
Movie New Year's resolution. Ooh, I don't even have one. That's a really good idea, though. I really like it. Okay. So are you asking like?
All right, tune in next time for
Okay.
tune in next time for the answers. Like,
Are you asking if I have like a certain movie I want to watch, or like how many movies I want to watch this year, or if I want to specifically watch certain movies?
a movie, just a resolution to do with movies and you. What
You
is
know
that?
what?
What
I
does that look
really
like
want to
for
go
you?
back and watch Lord of the Rings, because I'm pretty sure I said it when we first started this podcast. When lockdown started, I'm like, I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings trilogy again over this lockdown. And if I don't, what the hell am I doing with my life? And I didn't even do it. And I was just thinking about this the other day when I was picking my wife and daughter up from school and work. And I was like, I was driving around and I was like, I have not watched those Lord of the Rings movies, son of a bitch. So that's on my that really is on my top list to do. So that's my New Year's resolution. 2021, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings movies and I'm gonna make my wife watch them with me. Because I'm sure she'll just really, really love that. That's my resolution. That's my resolution. Okay, what about you, Ethan?
That's a good question.
It was your
Can't
question.
believe I know. I didn't think of an answer. I didn't think I'd get this far.
I like how you're like, man, that's a good question. Like I just asked you, bro, this is your question.
If it's watching, I'd probably have to say like I want to continue and finish marathoning the Bond movies because like we've only gotten like I don't remember where we got. I don't remember how far we've gotten, but
You have lots of time.
I think we're at Roger Moore.
It got delayed
I think
again.
we might be at Live and Let Die. Yeah, we're at the good one. We're at Live and Let Die. So like we gotta continue from there.
Yeah.
But like on top of it too, personally, I think I have a few more with like we need to finish our short film. I want to write more of my movies and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So there's that. But like that's not necessarily specifically to do with movies. It is and it isn't. But
Yeah.
and I'll actually no. I have an actual a personal resolution when it comes to movies. I'm going to try and look at movies more optimistically.
That's a good take.
Gonna put a real damper on the second episode. Just a heads up.
Yeah, you like clearly you
But-
do need to look at things a bit more optimistically, man. Just enjoy the
That's
movie.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying
Come
to do in general.
on,
Like just
man.
with life, is I just there's no point in being
Jamali.
sad and upset about
Jamal.
things. You know, you gotta stop quoting Chris Tucker at me.
Jamali.
Oh, that's another series that I watched.
Ooh,
Not that one, but Shanghai Night or Shanghai Noon.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just remembering all these movies like as we're talking that I watched over the break. There's a lot that I watched. But no, it's definitely it's just being more optimistic in general and like, you know, there's a point of toxic optimism where it's, you know, nothing's going to get me down and like sometimes things should get you down, but like still there's a point where you should also still just try and find the bright side in things.
Yeah.
You know, it's just try and see the good even though there might not be much.
Okay. Well, with that note, we're going to wrap up this episode. Great answer for your question of the day. Great question of the day, by the way. Just heads up, next episode, Wonder Woman
Well, I mean-
84. We're going to be talking about Darkest Hour because Ethan finally watched it, and that's what he's probably going to just poo-poo all over and just hurt my feelings, and I might cry. Next week, I might cry. We'll just have to see. And
I
then
mean, if
all the
you-
rest
if
of the
you
movies.
Don't cry, I failed.
You son of a. Then all the rest of the movies we watched over the break, we'll break those down, and I'm sure we'll have actually quite a varied list. So it'll be interesting to see what we chose to watch.
We didn't coordinate or plan anything.
We didn't,
actually, to
no.
watch
So it'll be
together.
interesting to see what movies we chose. That's all coming up
It's a
next
complete-
week. So make sure you tune back in for that.
It's a complete fluke that we even watched Wonder Woman at the same
It is,
time.
yeah.
Like,
We didn't
that's-
talk about it, but
No, not in the
Not even a
slightest.
little
I'm,
bit.
I'm excited. I'm curious to hear what you have to think
yeah, I
about
kind of want to hear what you have to think about it too. But I feel like knowing your track record, it probably isn't anything great.
it. Well, sorry for having an opinion and for liking things to be good.
I just like things to, be good.
Exactly. It's not that
Oh
hard.
yeah, no, and I don't think I'm gonna disagree with you too much on that one, but we'll save that for next week, or maybe I will. I do have some thoughts of my own. But Ethan, tell the good people where they can find you again.
You can find me at YouTube at Ethan R. Hill. You can also find me on Instagram at Ethan R. Hill. You can also find my movie Damned Rights for sale and for rent on realhouse.org. Just type in Damned Rights and you'll find the movie there. And there should be a joke somewhere. I should have a joke about where you can find me and like just be some kind of like cheeky thing about look for me at such and such thing, but I got nothing. It's late. It's been a
the
week.
subway at 3rd and 4th Ave. I don't know.
We don't have subways. Oh wait, no. Are we talking about the restaurant or like?
Yeah,
the
there's
travel
no
place?
like the restaurant.
Okay, I thought
I
we were
was
talking
like,
about like
I was like,
Subway.
wait, you're telling me y'all don't have subways? I call bullshit on that.
just strictly Quiznos out here.
Quiznos and Mr. Sub, the last
It just
stronghold of Mr. Sub.
it's so much disappointment. It's just a lot of really like, oh, I just want Subway. No, we have several Subways. I thought you were talking about transportation.
No, I meant like the restaurant.
I'm like, I don't think that's a thing, Matt.
Funny thing.
When did Saskatoon get a Subway?
It not like it needs one at all.
You guys finally got a Taco Bell.
Yeah, we have two of them. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's when I was there. There was only one, or there was none. There was no.
Yeah,
Taco
there's
Bells.
two now, and I've eaten at one once, I think. But the other one's in a great location to get stabbed. So we don't have Subways, but we got Taco Bells where you can get stabbed. So it's like same thing.
If you're not getting stabbed at Taco Bell, are you really living?
Are you really? If you do not bleed cheese sauce, are you really living?
Look, it's if you're eating Taco Bell, you're either bleeding out your butt or you're bleeding because you got stabbed.
Okay,
It's one of the two.
We're gonna continue to wrap this up. You can find me at Storytellers for Life. This is on YouTube, my channel. Just started. Great. We're really digging into storytelling. Breaking down a lot of the fundamentals of storytelling and kind of the psychology behind it, as well as us as humans trying to achieve our goals. You can find me at Twitter at Storytellers4L. That's the number 4, capital L. And Facebook, you can find me at Storytellers for Life there. Gonna be digging into, it's basically a place to share what we love about stories and films right now, but we're gonna get more hands-on with storytelling there. And then Twitch, Storytellers for Life live. We're going to be playing through some of gaming's greatest stories. So lots of fun stuff going on. And yeah, that's where you can find me. All these things will be linked down below. So you can go down the description, and find it down there. But other than that, that's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week with Wonder Woman 84, The Darkest Hour, and our movies of the holidays.
I guess they should also let us know what their movie New Year's resolutions
Oh
are,
yeah,
too,
we didn't
shouldn't
even
we?
ask you guys that. Yeah, and your own.
We forgot about
Your own
interaction. Oh
movie.
no, it's been so long.
Yeah, and your movie, your favorite movies. Your New Year's resolution for movies. It's been a long night.
Does Matt need a nap?
This has been A Feast of Films, episode 22, part 1. I'm Matt Ayalew, and with me as always is
Ethan R. Hill.
and we are out of here.
Happy season 2, everybody.
Happy season 2. Happy 2021. Bye-bye now.
Oh boy. So long.
Toodaloo. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
And Seacrest out.
And art. Art.
Art. That's how we're gonna end every episode now is art.